Hello my darlings and welcome back to my channel. Yes, you just saw this. If you watched that video, then you know I'm not wasting the makeup because I have a story time for you. Oh man, do I have a story time. Okay, so I'm gonna take you back a little bit. St. Patrick's Day. Okay, so March 17th. Hubby was sent out of town on March 16th, which was Monday. Just got sent to Biloxi for work. Tuesday morning, the 17th, he messages me and he's like, I don't feel good. I've got fever. I've got chills. I feel like I've been hit by a Mack truck. I don't know what's going on. So I said, okay, first of all, contact your manager, contact your boss, let him know what's going on. Let him know, hey, because I mean, right now it's scary. So let him know, hey, I don't know what's going on, but this is how I'm feeling. Find out what he wants you to do. Does he want you to stay? Does he even want you to go into the store and work there? Or does he want you to just come home, go to the doctor, whatever. Just find out what he wants you to do. So he does. He contacts his manager. They say, go home, drive home, quarantine yourself, go to the doctor. Okay. So he drives home. Mind you, he's in Biloxi. That's like a 2-hour drive, 2-ish hour drive or something like that. He gets home and we like completely like, I stay away from him. He stays away from me. He goes and quarantines himself in his office because the very next day we had a new like drive up testing place open for C19. And so he calls and they say, yeah, come on in tomorrow morning is like the answering service. And they were like, yeah, they don't open till 8 a.m. tomorrow, but you can call in the morning and you can see if they'll have you come in. So he sleeps in his office. He goes the next day. I guess they didn't have any of the tests at the time, or they weren't testing people at the time. I don't really know why they didn't test him at the time, but they tested him for the flu. And so they gave him 2 shots, like antibiotics in his butt, like his upper like hip area, and didn't tell him that they prescribed him any medication and just kind of gave him a slip for work and sent him on his way. So because he didn't take the C19 test, but he took the flu test. And they were all like, oh, like, we think you have the flu. And then they were like, no, we think you have the crud. And so he was running fever, so he had to stay home. So he was home and I was like, I don't think you have it. You know, I just don't think you have it. And he's like, no, I don't think I have it either. So like between March 18th and April 1st, he had varying degrees of chills, fever. He had a low-grade fever multiple times, like up and down, up and down, up and down. And it was just like, what the hell's going on? At the time, I didn't realize that they didn't test him for C19, that they only tested him for the flu, and he came back negative. Like later in the month, he came back negative. So he's like, what gives? Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, why do I keep having fever? Like, something is going on. Also, during this time frame, he had vomiting and diarrhea. We chalked it up to eating bad food at first. So we were like, what the hell is going on? So on April 1st, he goes back to the clinic. He's like, look, guys, I came here. It's been a while. I still don't know what's going on. I'm still having fever. I'm still out of work. And my flu test came back negative. I didn't get tested for the C19 because you guys didn't have the test at the time or something like that. And they were like, oh, what about the medication? He's like, what medication? It's like they never told him he had medication to pick up whenever he first came to the clinic. So they were like, okay, yeah, you have 2 prescriptions. Like, we filled them like 2 weeks ago. So it's like, great. So mind you, like this whole time frame between March 18th and April 1st, he's had fever, just all kinds of symptoms that were like, what the hell is going on? And it wasn't like, he never really even had a cough. Like he had a slight cough and he was like fighting the crud. But it was like nothing serious. And we were like, all right, well, maybe you have like a really mild case of this, you know, like we don't know what's going on. April 1st, he goes and takes the test and they told him, okay, go ahead and we'll let you know within 48 to 72 hours about your test results for C19 and go pick up your prescriptions. So they gave him a Z-Pack and they gave him some medication for a cough. So we go pick up the medication, we go back home and he continues to quarantine himself away. And at this point, it's like, if he's got it, I've got it, because we're in such close proximity in this small house and we're sharing a bathroom because we started renovations on our master bathroom. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. if he had it, I had it. Like, he was starting to get extra pains from sleeping because we just switched his room around, and we just like bought a futon for that room, and we don't have like a pad for it yet. So it's just like the pleather futon, and it's not comfortable, especially for a 41-year-old man. So basically he was sleeping on that, and it was very uncomfortable. So finally I was just like, go get in the bed, go get some sleep. I'll wash the sheets and disinfect everything, like every night if I have to, whatever. He goes sleep in the bed, and at this point I'm just like, whatever. Again, if he has it, I have it. So, you know, going about our daily lives, but like all this while we're like, okay, like when are we gonna get these results? Okay, so 48 to 72 hours, that would have put it on my birthday, which was April 4th, which was a Saturday. So he calls them, and they're like, you know, we don't have any of your information yet. On Sunday the 5th, I think he calls and doesn't get anybody, or he speaks to an answering service or something. And then like on Monday, I don't remember her between the time frame between the 1st and that Monday, the 6th, I believe. So the 6th. Like he would have had his results back, or he should have had his results back. So he finds out that they sent his testing to like North Carolina or South Carolina or one of the Carolinas. I don't even know, because he had insurance. And so we were like, great. So that's even longer now that we have to deal with it. So this is on the 6th. He calls the clinic pretty much every day, and we're like, what's going on? Like, help us out, figure out what's going on. Like, we need to know something. We need information from his job. Like, we need to give something to his job. We need to figure out what's going on. So they were like, well, you know, we don't have your test results back, but we can, you know, you're signed up on this. And so like he kept checking his my chart and everything, and nothing was coming through. So finally on the 9th, he gets a negative result. It was like, hallelujah, we knew you didn't have it, but you know, it's great that now we have this like tangible piece of paper that says, okay, I don't have it, I can come back to work. Which at this point, everybody's working from home, because my husband still has a job. I got furloughed. So then on, and mind you, from the 1st to the 9th that we got our results, he was like up and down, roller coaster. Like he would have moments of fever, and he would have moments of just feeling nauseated and feeling like he got hit by a Mack truck again. And we were like, what the hell is going on? So we're like, do you have this? Do you not have this? This is before we got the test results. So we got the test results, and we're like, great, you don't have it. He was fine that day, and he was fine up until about mid-afternoon on the 10th, when he was like, I feel really, really nauseous. And I'm like, okay, well, like, go relax. You've been doing a lot, you know, like you've kind of been doing like your normal, trying to get back into some form of routine. Like he was doing dishes, because he said he would do the dishes, and so he did the dishes, and then he was doing other stuff, and then he was just like, I really don't feel good. So he goes and sits down in his office, basically from about mid-afternoon until almost 1 o'clock in the morning was when he just started to decline. And his fever started low grade, and then it started climbing and climbing and climbing, and it was like, what the hell? It hit 104, and I said, get dressed, call the ER, find out the protocol. Right now, with everything going on, we were like, what's the protocol? Find out the protocol. So he calls, and they're like, just come to the emergency room and pull up and call us when you're outside, and we'll come out and greet you. Okay, no problem. So it's like a 15-minute drive to the ER. We get there, we call. 3 people come out, one in full PPE, one with just a mask and scrubs, and then another one, I don't know what they had on. I think they just had like a mask and like a doctor's coat. I don't recall. I'm like tired, concerned with him, like don't know what's going on. And we pull up, and first thing out of her mouth is, what have you taken anything? And he's like, yes, I've taken, you know, he told her what he took. And she's like, do you have any shortness of breath? And he's like, no. He's like, I have a fever of 104. You know, I don't know what's going on. They don't come out to take his temperature. Something is wrong. It's not COVID. He said, no, I'm getting my full oxygen. I took the COVID tests, and it took 9 days to get back, and it's negative. And she's like, well, you should probably take it again. And then she proceeds to say that we're not going to go ahead and admit you because we don't want you to infect us. Say what now? I'm concerned with him. I'm not thinking about what she just said. It took me off guard, and it was like, what? What did you just say? So she said there's a drive up COVID testing across the street. The other guy steps inside, grabs like a sticky note, writes down the times, comes back and hands him the sticky note. She continues to tell us, after he said that his test came back negative, that it took 9 days. She's like telling us as to why it was sent elsewhere and they're only supposed to do as many. I don't care. He's running 104. I don't give a shit why they had to send it away. It's negative. He's running 104. He doesn't have C19 symptoms. What's going on? So she's like, you need to go get tested in the morning again. Basically tells us to go home and self-medicate. And that they're telling everyone who has these kind of symptoms to go home and self-medicate. Okay. He asks her, so what do I do if my fever continues to go up? And she says, well, then come back. Okay. So the 15-minute drive, we're kind of like, well, that was pointless. What are we going to do? Like, should we go to another hospital? That's a 45-minute drive from where we're at now. What do we do? So we go home. He checks his temperature, 104.8. So at this point, I'm ready to put him in a tepid bath. I'm giving him water to drink. I give him more medication because I only gave him 2 pills earlier and he usually takes 4. He gets on the phone with his mom. He calls his mom because she's a nurse. And she's talking to him and you feel like you're burning up inside. You need to take a cool shower. Like she's talking him through different things. Meanwhile, I'm trying not to freak out. And in my brain, I've already can't really process of what just happened with the ER. So then, he's in the bathroom, he's talking to his mom, and he comes back out and he takes his temperature again and it's 105.6 and the thermometer starts to break. So he is trying to work on this thermometer. Meanwhile, I'm like, we're going back. Like, we're either going back or we're going somewhere else. Like, we need to do something about this. Like, I'm about to put you in a bath. Like, we're doing something. I take a washcloth, drench it, wring it out, put it for the back of his neck. He's occupying himself with trying to fix one of 2. We had 2 thermometers and they both decided to crap out on us. And I'm not entirely sure if his fever was 105.6 or was that when the thermometer decided to break and just go haywire. At this point, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and take a shower real quick in case we have to leave or go, whatever. As he's sitting there, his fever breaks and he's wearing like pajama pants, like winter pajama pants, a shirt, a big like Huggles or like big like blanket hoodies that are just like fleece lined. So he has one of those on. So he sheds everything and he opens the door and he's like, my fever just broke. Great. Like, we're going to continue on what we were doing. It went down, like rapidly went down just about as fast as it went up. And on top of this, to add insult to injury, he's got indigestion. Then he's going to try and get some sleep and he gets in the recliner. And so that keeps him kind of elevated. And I'm up till 7 a.m. Like, I'm Googling like what happens at this temperature. And like, I'm just like, I'm trying not to freak out, but like internally I'm going, oh my God, what's going on? I'm freaking out. About 7 o'clock, I'm like, I'm going to go be horizontal. Wake me. If anything, just wake me up when you're ready to go. Because we were going to go get the COVID testing. Like, both of us were going to go because this nurse had us honestly thinking that he's got it. And that's the end all be all. Like, that was it. So he doesn't sleep those 2 hours. I got just over 2 hours of sleep. He wakes me up and he's like, we need to go back to the ER. Now something is wrong. He's like, it's not COVID. I don't want to take that test. I have to go back to the ER. I've run fever all night. And I'm starting to get pains in my abdomen. And I'm like, fuck. I'd let the dogs out to go potty as he's like getting ready to get out of the house. He coughs and he was like in severe pain. So I get the dogs in the house. I head over there. He calls and he's like, look, I went there last night. I was told to go home and self-medicate. Something is wrong. I don't have COVID. I need help, We call, roll in the window, and she comes to the door and she's like, you can come in. So he comes in. Of course, I couldn't go in there with him. So I parked the car. They immediately admit him. They immediately put him on an IV. They immediately run a CT scan on him. And it turns out that he has an infection in his colon. So he has diverticulitis. And at this point, I've already been fuming this whole time. I've been gradually getting madder and madder the more I explain to my nurse friend, my other friends who are non-nurses, what happened Friday night. Everyone's livid. Everyone's just like, that is wrong. There is no reason that she should have turned him away. And especially, that's so irresponsible of her to say that I don't want to admit you because I don't want you to infect us. I want to throat punch her. Like, I get that right now times are very difficult and scary, but you have an oath to uphold, and you basically could have killed my husband. He could have gone home. He could have gone and taken the COVID test. He could have gone home and waited, and it could have ruptured. He could have. The couldas, the wouldas, the shouldas, the all that have been going through my head for days now. They end up admitting him to the hospital on Saturday, the 12th. On Easter, the 12th, we had tornadoes come through, not too far away from me. Like, literally within minutes of driving from my house, there's destruction. There's houses that are leveled. Thankfully, I'm up on a hill, but I freaked out. I went over to my in-laws where they have a basement. Sorry, kitties, y'all were on your own. I couldn't grab the cats. They had all hidden anyway because of the weather. I grabbed the dogs. We headed over to my in-laws and we just sat it out. I lost power at my house. They ended up moving all the patients down to the basement. One of them hit north of where he was in the hospital. Today is only the 16th. Okay, it's the 16th. This just took place. I'm just now getting to where I want to film stuff. I'm very angry at what happened. So when he did end up getting admitted, he ended up telling the doctors and everybody who was taking care of him what happened. And one of the doctors was point blank livid, like myself. I was livid. He's like, these doctors and nurses across everywhere right now need to realize that there are other health ailments that are going on. And it's not just COVID. That there are other things that need to be handled. Things could have gone very, very, very bad. And I'm so thankful, so thankful that they didn't. I can't help but think of like the what ifs. And I'm so glad that he got the treatment that he got. I feel like if he would have been admitted that Friday night, that they wouldn't have taken as good of care of him as he got on Saturday. I feel like that the right people took care of him on Saturday, and he was in the hospital for 3 days. He got out late Monday afternoon, and he ended up taking a COVID test just before he left, again, so he could have it for his job to make sure he didn't pick up anything while he was there. And we're still waiting on the results from that. We should get that today, but it's been a crazy like month, really. It's been a crazy year already, but it's almost coming up on a month of symptoms that have been unexplained, multiple COVID scares, just tornadoes. And then the day before my birthday, I slipped getting into the tub. I talked about this in my last video, and my shin is still sore as hell. So he is home. He's improving. He's sore. Unfortunately, he does have 2 hernias that are lower, and he's going to have hernia surgery. At first, they thought his hernias were strangulated, and that would have been emergency surgery right there. But they weren't. But he does have diverticulitis. They treated him really well. They took really good care of him. And a part of me wants to report that which took place on Friday. I do feel that it was very irresponsible on this nurse to say what she said to us and to send us away. And I do want to have it reported. I don't want her fired. Maybe some training or something. And I understand that all nurses and doctors have to look at every patient as if they already have it after the fact. Like, after sitting back and thinking about things, it's like, yes, it does need to be reported, because how many other people has she done this to? How irresponsible. But the other part of me is like, he got really good care while he was there. Like, they took a really good care of him, and he's like, would they have taken as good a care of me if they didn't know what happened on Friday night? Is this just how they take care of their patients? We don't know. So again, it's like one of those situations where it's like, do you say something, or do you just, because he did say something. He let the doctors know. He let the nurses know. He let everybody know who was working with him that this happened, and that this could have been way worse than it was. So it's on record, but it's not formal complaint record. And at the same time, like, again, I don't want this person to be fired or anything, because I know it's scary right now, but I just want to bring awareness to this type of situation. It's like, you could have really screwed things up. So yeah, we got to make some dietary changes. I mean, I've been eating everything under the sun. So is he. And he does eat a lot of like not so great food when he travels. And so that doesn't help with diverticulitis. But, you know, it's something that can be managed. It's something that can be lived with and taken care of if you catch it before anything bad happens. And thankfully, we caught it just in time. It was close though. So anyway, guys, that's my story time. Just want to let you know where I've been, what's been going on, why I haven't really been uploading anything. I've been trying to edit. I just can't seem to keep myself focused on it. I have ADHD, undiagnosed, but I know damn well I've got it because I can't do nothing without doing something else. I can't focus on things. You know, but I'm trying to get my videos uploaded. By the time you see this one, there's going to be like 4 other videos ahead of it. So I've got some stuff to edit. I've got some things to do. But yeah, just keep us in your thoughts and your prayers and light some candles and all that good stuff. You know, whatever collective energies you would like to send our way, we would very much so greatly appreciate it, because I'm a witch. My husband is non-anything. But we do know that the collective power of energy sent our way can't be a bad thing. So anyway, guys, give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, also hit the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And yeah, I'm gonna go and wash this off because it's now 6 o'clock in the morning and I'm gonna go to bed because I'm backwards. Anyway, guys, I hope that you're doing well. I will catch you in my next one. Bye.